They can hear me? And they most certainly can hear you. Bienvenidos a todos del episodio 189 de HAC Show. Yo soy el muy guapo y estúpido Hack.
Y yo soy tu favorito VTuber, Jack.
And we welcome you fine folks. We won't talk the rest in Spanish because I ran out of words. Only remember.
Oh, no, you got to get the subscription for the HAC Plus. That way you can get all in closed caption Spanish.
No, you gotta press the SAP button. And also, hello, Miss Sarah. Hello, Johnny. He says I got this in the wrong settings. Yeah, you got to change it from Mexican Spanish to American English, Johnny. But welcome, folks. Don't get all Ricky Ricardo on me. Come on, Lucy. Come on. Anyways, it is good to do another show for you fine folks this evening. And a few things have happened since has happened since the last episode. For one, I got to see a movie, that I've already shared with Deadpool and Wolverine, which I won't divulge today, and in respect to Jack, because he hasn't seen it yet, but he does plan to. So, assuming if things go according to his schedule and his plans, we could be looking at a full spoiler discussion of that film in the very near future. Yes. Oh, but the main highlight for this episode is that we actually did see something else superhero related. I watched because I take my time, so I've only seen the first 2 episodes of Batman: The Caped Crusader, the new animated Batman show exclusive to Amazon Prime, which is so funny that it was not even on Max, the literal streaming service that Warner Brothers is a part of. That's just funny. But I actually didn't get asked you, Jack. Are you did you start the show? Are you a few episodes in, or did you binge watch it?
I finished it.
Yeah, of course you did.
I finished it.
Of course you did.
I mean, there's nothing else to do at work. I mean, sorry, I'm very vigilant at work. Never mind. I'm so sorry. Very vigilant at work.
He's extreme vigilant. Anytime he sees a guard, he sees someone's trespass, he goes to them. Where are they? Where are the other drugs going?
Where is she?
Harvey Dent. Can we trust him? One more Bane. This is what Jack has to say every time. I'm not wearing hockey pads. There you go. That's the last of that. Johnny says, I told Jack that Deadpool dances. Might as well give him full spoilers at this point. Oh no.
No.
It's even crazier. The Suicide Squad Isekai is on Hulu. I'm not actually surprised. And yes, Miss Saren, there is a Suicide Squad Isekai, and it's like an actual, Isekai with the squad, the SS, not that one, the other SS. Chuck Coon came for Harley and the rest of the Funky Bunch, and they made it to the fantasy world.
I don't. I think I'm like in the middle of it, and I just don't like it that much.
Yeah, you don't say.
It's just, it has terrible pacing to me. The dialogue is certainly not realistic in the sense of like, no person would ever talk like that. And yeah, it just feels like very rushed.
The only thing I am, I guess the word I'm looking for is, what's the word I'm looking for? Disappointed, because I think the lead director or I think lead animation director for the Suicide Squad Isekai. Uh, he initially wanted to work with DC so that he can make his own Flash anime, and all I could think is that would have been awesome to see a Flash anime instead of
That would.
the Suicide Squad. But uh, what are you gonna do? If only the CW shows was still relevant and people remembered the Flash.
I'm Barry Allen. I'm the fastest man alive.
My name
5
is
seconds later, I'm not the,
the
fastest man.
alive. Let's see. It's get us the second. Oh wait, the second Kinnikuman or the second Kinnikuman drop. The second Kinnikuman dropped. I stopped watching it. Then started watching Kinnikuman instead. Then thank you for reminding me, Ghetto. I need to give that show a chance. Which Jack, do you remember what Kinnikuman is, right?
I feel like I do. It was that one guy that kind of has the weird animation look.
Ultimate Muscle.
Yep. Then yes.
Yes. Now, Ultimate Muscle. That's about basically the son of Kinnikuman. So Kinnikuman is he's the original hero of that series. And so what I understand, Netflix. It's been released on Netflix. Ghetto, correct me if I'm wrong. Which I believe it's an adaptation of one of the later arcs of the Kinnikuman manga, but I think in the beginning there's a special recap episode that pretty much tells you the whole history of Kinnikuman, so that you're up to speed on who these characters are, what's the stakes at hand, who are the villains, and so forth. All that world building stuff.
Gotcha.
Yep. Ghetto did, although he does gives us not a warning, but he does want to clue us in. He does want to clue us in. Says, "I'm telling you though, the current anime is a direct follow up to what's happening in the manga." So it is. Well, you know what? That won't deter me, because guess what? My first exposure to Ippo was at the time its most current season, which was one of at this point one of the midpoints of the manga. And I still enjoyed it, even though I had no context to some of the characters or why the story that was being told. I was still entertained, so I'll still check it out, and I'll do my homework and try to follow along. Although I don't know how long Kinnikuman is, since that manga series has been going on since the early '80s. In fact, even it's been around for a good while. Although I think it has its for what I understand, I'm not, because I'm no Kinnikuman expert, nor do I claim to be. I don't think it's not. There's not a new chapter every week. There are certain breaks over the past years, but yeah, it's still going on, and has a dedicated fan base. And the fact that there's even an anime adaptation now is actually quite shocking, because there has not been a Kinnikuman anime since the early 2000s with Ultimate Muscle, where it was follow Kinnikuman, the son of Kinnikuman, which was, to kind of think about it, that's kind of like this. That's kind of like the DBZ of Kinnikuman. That's kind of weird to think about it. Anyways, yeah, maybe I'll try to. I'll need to make some time to check that out and enjoy it on my own leisure. But back on topic. So yes, Jack has seen all of Batman Caped Crusader.
Batman Capcom Crusader.
I wish. And I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so for in this case, I mean, if you want to give your full thoughts on the show, Jack, without going to spoilers, you can. If the only thing we can talk about spoiler wise is just the first 2 episodes, and I'll just give my early impressions of the show, while you can go more in depth about how you felt about it overall. But we'll save that a little bit for later. Just a little bit. Don't want to, as I say, save the best for last.
Mhm.
There is some relevant game news that that was both surprising but not surprising, and that was with the shutdown of Game Informer. Now, Jack, I must ask you: have you in your life, coming up 28 years of life? No, your 28 years of life. Have you ever read a
27.
28? You're
Uh,
28.
I'm 27. Don't add numbers yet.
You're 29.
Ah!
anyways, the point is, for as long as you live, have you ever read a issue of Game Informer?
Nope.
Well, then,
I heard of them, but I've never did.
I could take over from here because while I have never subscribed to them, I have read a grand total of 2 Game Informer magazines in my life, and I did not pay for either of them.
Damn.
This is around the time. So let's see. So the first one I read would have been about 2008, because I still remember vividly on the cover. It was like the games that were highlighted were Sonic Unleashed, the one where he turns to a werehog. Shaun White snowboarding.
Nice.
And also at the time, what was going on in 2008?
2008.
I think. Oh, I think there was like
the newest Call of Duty.
No, that
I think Halo 2 came out.
Halo 2 came out in 2004, 3 in 2007. Oh, yeah. I think it was like another Tomb Raider game out, Tomb Raider Underworld. I think that's what it was. It was like a soft reboot of sorts.
Mm.
Not unless you're confusing it with Nintendo. No, you know what? I lied. I lied to all of y'all. I'm confusing it with an issue of Nintendo Power. And that's only because I read that specific issue so much that I remember that there was a review for a video game called Deadly Creatures. Now, if any of you know what Deadly Creatures is, anyone?
It's a creature. It's a creature that is deadly.
Creatures, plural. Get it right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Exactly. Well, here, let me show y'all, because this is one of those video games that I said you can't make today, not because of anything of the content in the game, more so like no one will put money into games like this. So let's see if I can find a trailer, find a nice crisp 480p trailer. That's how that old it is. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here's one. Now keep in mind, this is a game for the Nintendo Wii. Rated T game. So we're getting a little edge, just a little bit. Here, John, I'll send you the link to the little short trailer we're gonna watch since we're down this memory hole. Put it into the sources. And why are you getting the video on your? Yes.
I was gonna say, let me try something real quick. Sorry, this is gonna be testing out something while on the stream. Oh, never mind. It didn't work.
Oh well. Better luck next time, Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Oh, wrong stream. There we go. There we go. All right. So I have the trailer up for our audience to view. You have it ready on your end, Jack?
I'm ready.
All right. So let's check this out. This highest setting. Well, not even 480p, 240p trailer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now this is real YouTube now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Rated T for teen.
Oh no, it's a spider flying around my room.
Look at this hype gameplay.
Yeah, let's go.
Get him.
Insect fights. Insect fights.
Yeah, use
Oh,
the
look at
motion
that.
controls.
Executions. Let's go.
Kill cam. Uh-oh.
That's exactly what lizards sound like. I go outside and I hear that.
Oh, I don't think it's a good matchup. Can the spider handle it? Oh, he blinded him. He's gonna go for the sneak attack. Oh no!
Oh, he power bombed.
Going in for the kill. The tarantula wins. Oh wait, is that a scorpion fighting a horned lizard?
Yes.
Ooh, that was actually deadly.
Not the bearded dragon.
Oh no! Fighting his own kind. There can only be one.
Oh my god. Did he just do a right hook?
Like that look like this. Look at the hypest gameplay on YouTube.
That's right.
Look, you can fight a snake. Spider versus snake. Nature's deadliest rivals. Only on Nintendo Wii by THQ. Woo! That's John memory lane. You know, I actually really wanted to try that game when it came out. Never did.
What about that reminded me about the Deadliest Warrior game. Do you remember that one?
I never played it, but I remember seeing a two best friends video of them playing it, and it is one of the most jankiest, like I guess fighting games, if you want to call it that. Jankiest fighting
much.
Games I've seen, where like there's one hit kills, and then like there are ring outs as well.
It's basically, I feel like it's actually supposed to be unfair just because of the fact that they're like, oh yeah, this knight's weak against this, and ninja's weak against this,
Which makes for a great balancing in a fighting game.
yeah, them paper rock scissors.
Johnny says, THQ, I knew I recognized those Punisher-like graphics. And get it with the two best friends reference. You forgot the cookies! Okay, I'll stop there. I love Gruce's theme. You love Gruce's theme? Yes, of course you do. Everyone loves Gruce's theme. People love Gruce's theme more than they actually like Skyward Sword. That's how great he is. But yeah, I show that because that was like a game that was like reviewed on that Nintendo Power magazine. But we're not talking about Nintendo Power magazine. Nintendo Power has already been gone like last year maybe. They're gone. So about Game Informer. Now I do remember one very specific issue of Game Informer that I know I can verify that I have read. And let me see if I can actually get that, because I remember how I got it. And it is in the most weirdest of places. So let's go back in time, folks. Let's go back in time to the year. What would be to the year 2010. All right. And back in time when I was only how old I was, like 13 years old. But the thing is, like, I think I was 13, and I am at a relative's house in I always butcher it, but I can try to say it right. Puerto Rico. I was in a relative's house in Puerto Rico. And this is an older relative's house. You know, she's it was an older woman, I believe, and almost at this point an elderly aunt from my dad's side of the family. And usually when we visit the island, we spent the first few days just like literally driving around mountains and bridges to meet other family members. And for this particular case, we'll be in we'll be into the home. Usually, I just kind of wait till either there's food served or there's something to do, because unfortunately, because a lot of the relatives we meet are adults, and I'm usually stuck with having to look after the my little siblings or nephews or cousins or whatever. So I end up having to just be with them. But in this particular case, I saw on the counter of, I guess it would be my great aunt. Let's go with that. On her counter in the living room, there was a Game Informer magazine, and specifically, I still remember what was on the cover. It was a cover for what at the time what was going to be the newest horror game that was coming out. Not that year, but it was coming out soon. Now maybe Jack, maybe you can figure this out. Jack, can you figure out in the year 2010 what future horror game would be hugely marketed for the future?
So can I get a hint?
It is from one of your favorite horror franchises.
Could it be Resident Evil?
Nope.
I'm taking that answer. Alien Colonial Marines.
Nope, you're not a big Aliens fan. Oh wait, Ghetto
No,
said. Oh, Ghetto said. Nope, it's not Alien Colonial Marines. It's actually something. It's a series that Jack really likes.
Series of horror games that I really like.
And in fact, it had a new game very recently.
Dead Space?
Ding, 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 correct. Specifically, Dead Space 2.
Ah.
And I remember because on that cover for that magazine, which I'm trying to get a good picture of for everyone to see here. There was on the cover a nice full, literally double spread cover of Isaac Clarke, shooting on some not xenomorphs, necromorphs. Thank you. And I'm trying to get that cover for you guys, if this darn machine will let me. Gosh, that's so small. Okay, at least.
Johnny, it's terrifying that South Park made Hello Kitty Island Adventure before it was a thing.
Nah, it was inevitable.
Like with the same name?
Inevitable. It was inevitable. Now, where is this darn picture? There it is. It's a bit small because I couldn't find any bigger sizes. But here on the stream, you can see it. This was the cover. This was the January issue of Game Informer. January, I believe it was January of 2010. At least I want to believe. Now usually we visit Puerto Rico around the Christmas time, so this was just an old issue of Game Informer, and I was lying in my relative's house, my great aunt's house. I saw it, and being that it was the only thing that I could relate to in that entire house, I was like, you know what? Let me read it, and then I asked my aunt, hey, can I have this? She goes, yeah, sure. It's like, I don't know why I have it. She's like, I'm thinking maybe one of her nephews or grandsons may have left it there. I think that's the only reason why an elderly woman would have a magazine like this. That's what, but that's what I'm assuming and surmising. I honestly don't know why she had this book in her possession. Maybe we'll just accidentally put it in her mailbox. I don't know. But I grabbed it with me and I read the heck out of it. As to what was actually in the issue, oh jeez, that part I unfortunately do not remember. I do not remember. But oh dang, but it oh yeah, okay, never mind. So funny enough, the link I got to get this image actually sent me to the proper Game Informer website where this was archived, but because the website is no longer up, we only get. I'll show folks here on the video screen. This image, and I read it out to you, Jack. It says the final level, farewell from Game Informer. After 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever-evolving world of gaming, it is a heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual realms, we've been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presence may stop, the passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on. Thank you for being part of our epic quest, and may your own gaming adventures never end. A nice message from the folks at Game Informer. And as I'm talking about this, there is one thing I actually do remember from this specific magazine. This issue, I should say, of this magazine. And that was, this was, now that I think about it, this was kind of like the earliest exposure I got to what was it like to make games, all behind the scenes. Prior to that point, games were games. I didn't really think too much about what went to make a game. But I got the earliest glimpse of that through not with that issue of Nintendo Power I talked about earlier, but also this one with Game Informer. And in this specific issue, there is an article in which it's all about Shinji Mikami. And for those who do not know who is Shinji Mikami, he is you know him by his works. He was the lead director for the original and the remake of Resident Evil. He also was the director for Resident Evil 4. He went on to make his own studio, Tango Gameworks, in which he went to create The Evil Within 1 and 2. And for some people, he's also known as the guy who made the Goof Troop game for Super Nintendo. Imagine now you make a Disney game, a goofy Disney game, then your next project, all right, let's kill some zombies.
Yep.
But he's done a lot more. He is an industry veteran and titan, especially within the horror game sphere, as he's one of the people that literally more than twice he changed how horror games are designed and made, specifically with the Resident Evil series. I mean, he was the one that thought of the idea to go from doing the fixed camera angles of the original RE games to doing the camera behind the shoulder with RE4. He was the one that made that transition. Which, you know what? Being that he was the original director of the original game, that shows how much he was willing to change things and try new things for his games. Now, I'm omitting a lot of other things he's worked on or he has credits on, but I'm just highlighting the important stuff that we all know. And I remember reading that article of his, and over time I always kept rereading and just trying to understand, how he envisioned his approach to making games, what he finds so unique about horror, and why he stuck with horror games for so long, and as well why he left Capcom and went to pursue his own game developments, which even recently. He even left his own studio that he made, Tango Gameworks, because that studio was bought up by Bethesda. And Jack, if you follow industry news, who just bought Bethesda?
Oh wait, that sounds familiar. Who did?
Microsoft.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So because of parent companies, his a small but dedicated studio was then bought out by an even bigger parent company, and he saw the writing on the wall. So before his studio was closed down for good by Microsoft, he he left to make another new studio so he can continue to make the games that he wants to make. Oh, and I almost forgot, before he went to Tango Gameworks, he was also briefly at Platinum Games as one of the founders, and he helped create the game Vanquish. So there you go. I forgot to mention that important credit. He also helped make Vanquish. And
Wait, hold on. Vanquish was that one that had like the. Let me see. Let me see. Vanquish game. Yeah, I remember this one. I so badly wanted to play this game when I was a kid.
and it would have blown your mind if you did. Heck, probably would still blow your mind now. Luckily,
Like I played the demo of it and I absolutely loved it. I should really buy the game. It's like, isn't it on Steam right now?
yes, but you'll I recommend probably getting the most up to date version, which I think is like a. Well, I know on consoles it's comes the dual package if you can get Vanquish and the original Bayonetta, but you can still get the game. I'm assuming relatively cheaply at Steam now.
What was that?
But
Did you hear a squeak?
no, man, I think that might be coming from your area.
Maybe oh, never mind. It was just something I was hovering over on the Steam page and it made a squeaking sound.
Is Jack
My
really
bad, I'm sorry.
is Jack really infested with mice? Find out next week.
The mice. They power my computer.
But to close this up, we'll move on from the Game Informer stuff. But yeah, I just even though my experience with Game Informer was extremely limited, I reread this issue so many times, and this probably was one of the first of many influences to make me appreciate games as more than just as the that little machine that I use for my TV. It made me appreciate uh maybe appreciate what goes on to make even the most simplest of games. So it's that's a Game Informer go, especially since there's probably so many detailed articles and editorials and interviews that they've done over the years that, damn, unless there's some dedicated fans out there who've archived this stuff, will probably be lost to time, and that's very sad to see. And but it's, well, it's I want to end on a kind of a happy note, but it's one of those things that as with how the world's changing, who really reads magazines anymore? Who buys magazines? Not even like digital magazines. Besides just people who are of an older generation, they wouldn't even bother to read these video game themed magazines. So I think it was inevitable this would have happened. I think what probably got people a lot of myths, mostly on X, is just how it came about, with GameStop just going, "All right, it's done." There's no ceremony, no like, "Hey, check out all of our archive issues you can on this or that." I think that's really what it comes down to. It had a very unceremonious end to a very, very long existence, at least for in the game industry. Considering how, compared to other forms of entertainment, games will always be considered the youngest form of entertainment. But yeah,
that is a you know, I was gonna say that time has not been merciful for our old stuff, to be honest.
no, it has not, and I mean that's why we see a lot of people, still want to hold on to mostly like to their physical media, whether that be movies, games, and so forth. And I remember and I have a lot of respect for people who do that, who invest in the money and time it takes to be like, to not just get all the, let's say, like, for example, get all the GameCube games that you had as a kid, but to get all the GameCube games you could find, even if it's some like generic EA Sports title. Yeah, there is some tangible value that here's a thing that existed for a brief moment of time that had its chance to shine, and now has just gone away forever, never to be heard about again. No, not all games are lucky to get remasters or reported to everything.
I'm still kind of sad that my collection of games dwindled. A physical copy media, like my GameCube, my Wii that I barely played,
your Xbox,
and then the DS that I only owned because my dad just could not sell it since it had a very bad screen.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, it's like, really, you couldn't, but now you mentioned the bad screen, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. And it was like the Generation 1 model.
Oh, so the original DS, the chunky one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I bet you nowadays it's gonna go for a lot, even with the broken screen.
Possibly. I actually don't know how much in demand are those, especially in that condition. But for me, I think the only thing that's not making me go like collect all physical stuff is it's just space. Because if you want a DVD collection, a huge game collection, a huge book collection, you gonna need shelves and space. And I only have one bookshelf and very limited space. So for me, at this moment, my whole thing is, if I'm gonna get something physical, it has to be something that not only am I going to use, but it has to have some sort of value to me. And if it doesn't, then I will happily sell it or give it away, because it's something where, like, I'm good with my time with it, but I'm gonna go ahead and let someone else have it, just so that there's more room on my shelf for other things that I might come across.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's and trust me, I'm looking at my shelf now, and it's got. I see a lot of the newer stuff that I've gotten over the year. I've gotten, but then look at the stuff that's been with me like for a long time. For example, all right, I'm looking at the original Star Wars movies I have on DVD, and I still remember I got episodes 4 through 6, like during like the Christmas of either it was 2006 or 2007, maybe 8. It was around the time that Revenge of the Sith was on my mind, and I was super into it. And I got the original trilogy for a Christmas, and man, I've held on to those copies, and I watched them like so, like during especially during the summertime and the Christmas break, I would always put on a Star Wars movie to fall asleep to. I think the one I always picked was Episode 5, only because when I was younger, I always felt that Episode 5 had a slower start, so it helped me fall asleep easier. At least that was my thought process at the time. And now when I look at them, they still work. But funny enough, guess what? Episode 5 is the only film that doesn't work too well. And I remember when it wasn't working, it's like, wait a minute, why is it not working? Not realizing that I abused this movie just so it could be in my ASMR while I sleep.
Damn.
But all right, all right. That's enough of that. So let me get rid of this Game Informer image, and we can now move on to the main topic of this episode: the Batman. Now,
The Batman.
I add that guitar sting. No, not that Batman. Although, I gotta rewatch that show sometime, see how well that holds up. That was actually up until that point where the Batman, like on Kids WB, my only
Mm-hmm.
exposure to Batman was Batman and Robin, and that's about it. Like, so for like,
Damn, really?
yes, and now here's the thing. Now I did see like Batman from like the animated series, but I never watched it. But I always see that design and those the characters from that version of the show, like on coloring books, birth, birthday napkins, birthday hats, all that stuff. But I never actually watched the show, and for a long time, the only Batman media I could watch was Batman and Robin, and it wasn't until 2003, 2004. I would say 2004. The Batman on Kids WB, where I finally get to see something that was Batman, but also different. It will be much later in until my teenage years that I actually got to see other Batman movies and shows. But anyways, now Batman Caped Crusader. For those who don't know, is a new animated series on Amazon Prime, and it is effectively a Batman set in the fictional Gotham, fictional 1930s Gotham, with a Batman look heavily inspired by his original appearance way back in his in Detective Comics number 27, and kind of like that first year of Batman's existence. Sans the purple gloves. That's my only complaint about the costume. It's all good. Dang it, Jack. I wanted the purple gloves. I don't care how much it clashes. I don't care how silly it looks. God dang it, I wanted the purple gloves. And also, Ghetto was right. You could tell this is a fictional version of 1930s because no one's racist in that show. At least not yet. Are there any racism in future episodes?
No.
Yeah, so
I'm also more surprised at the fact of like the oh wait, you haven't gotten that far. Oh wait. Never mind.
Okay. I'll see what it is, what you're gonna go for. But yeah, like I said, it is a very fictitious stuff. So there are gonna be a lot of things that, at first, when I was hearing about this stuff, it didn't bother me, but I was ever so slightly annoyed that it wasn't gonna be like the true 30s of how things really were at that time. So there's gonna be a lot of how about this? They're gonna be a lot of things where like people of a certain color or of a certain or of a certain sex, so like they won't be doing that in the 30s. But at the same time, this isn't the real 30s. It's a fictional interpretation of the 30s set in Gotham. So once I got that in my head, I was like, all right, it's really not that big a deal.
Well, they do keep the sexism though from the 30s.
Oh, but they keep that, but they can't keep the racism. then again, like literally, Commissioner Gordon is black, so that's good.
It's like trying to make fun of your boss. He's like, "Oh, you think that's funny, huh? Fired."
Yeah, it's not like Batman the Animated Series was intentionally anachronistic. Yeah, like even the animated series, even though they were stylized very much of that time period, they didn't keep to that time period's society. So listen, I got over that real quick. And I'm like, you know what? It's a Batman show set in an interesting time where we don't see Batman a lot nowadays. So, entertain me show. And I've seen the first 2 episodes. And so, Jack, we can divulge a bit about the first 2 episodes, since they will give like the first good impression of the show before seeing the whole thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a break from talking. Jack, go ahead and retell your early impression of the show from like the first 2 or 3 episodes.
So, I initially I found out about the show, oddly enough, through TikTok. It did give me one spoiler, but I was just like, oh, okay. When I went to see it, I was actually, first of all, I do enjoy the time frame, the time period, because that one was always one of my favorite time periods, where you just have everyone going out with like the yeah, see type of
Yeah.
outfits, the hats, the mafiosos, like that was always a fun thing for me. It was great going back into that set time period.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jack wants to be a gangster, see? Yeah.
yeah, say yeah. So I was very excited to see how this show would go through. Um, it took me a not too long to get used to the new Batman voice actor. Dang, I forgot his name right now.
I can look it up while you're talking.
But I was like, you know what? And it just gave me like this kind of like somber feeling. Like, you know, it's sad that Kevin Conroy passed away, but at least it sounds like it's right now currently in good hands with this voice actor.
Yes, whose name is Hamish Linklater. That is a name.
Gotcha. I thought it started with an M, but I guess I must have been wrong.
Hamish.
And
Hamish.
I can definitely tell that whenever I saw this Batman, uh, it was gonna be somewhat early on in his career as Batman. It doesn't specifically state anything, but the fact that the Batcave is generally like super empty, with the only thing being a like one of those boards where you can kind of put things on. Uh, it was definitely like, okay, this is gonna be early years Batman. Let's see
And,
what kind of gadgets does he have.
and plus no Robin.
Yeah, no Robin. The so the gadgets, they're pretty much generally down to earth in the sense of like, okay, he has the grapple, he has
The
the
bat.
batarangs and some of the smoke bombs.
Yep, and I so far what I've seen, that's pretty much it. You got the
Uh,
essentials.
yeah, pretty much the essentials. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be expecting any of the high tech things like, oh yeah, he can change his suit into a freaking jetpack and just fly off. Nah.
Ice
And
bombs.
I do generally enjoy that. Kind of keep him a little bit more into his detective route, because the show did generally lean towards him being a detective. I mean, sure, there was a lot of fight scenes. This is just me going from the first, second, and so forth. But he did generally try to be a detective.
I
And
would say in
mhm,
episode 2, I think Montoya actually did more of the detective work, and Batman was just eavesdropping with the hidden microphone he put on her. I think
I mean, yeah.
yeah. So I mean that's still detecting, but literally he's but it's kind of not cheating, but he's like she's doing the actual legwork while he's just sitting in his car listening.
Hey, that yeah, you got to get your information somehow.
Exactly. Um, no, I do want to ask what do you think of his ears? Do you like the crooked ear look he has with the cowl?
I do like it. I don't know why. I did pay attention that it was kind of off a little bit, but at the same time, I kind of like it.
I do like that there's some length to them because God forbid Batman's ears are a lot longer than an inch. God forbid.
Yeah.
So I do like that. I also do like that. Like I guess in comparison to how he's designed in the animated series and in other animated shows, he's he doesn't have a very what word I'm looking for. He doesn't have a very wide body, so it's much easier to see him. He has a more slim, athletic body, and to be actually like be very sneaky compared to his other iterations, where he's like more bulked up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like that's the thing that I really did enjoy this Batman for how he is. Especially, it took me a while to get used to some of the swaps of either race or genders. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even mad about this one.
Yeah,
And this is gonna be me referring to the Penguin in episode 1.
that's right with Oswalda, which I was spoiled about it, but I was quite curious to see how that would be. And honestly, you know what? It's a that's a it's a unique interpretation of the Penguin, but at the same time, I still get like the Penguin character from her. So like, yeah, she's not the Penguin, but she still has all the characteristics of the Penguin. So therefore, she's the Penguin.
And like that was the interesting thing about it because like uh first of all, they lately Penguin has always been more of like a, at least lately this time of day, like Penguin's been like a not taken too seriously type of villain.
No, no,
Like yeah, he's a menace in some in his aspects, but compared to others, he doesn't get the limelight too much anymore.
I think years ago when I was reading, when I was up to date with Detective Comics, there was a whole subplot where Penguin wants to uh pretty much reestablish his reputation because he was after the whole thing with Riddler and Joker. A lot of the the criminals in Gotham saw Penguin as you're just some old wash up mob boss. No one respects you. No one likes you. You know. So in the comics they even did do that where he tried to he wanted to make that comeback. Says I can still play with the play with the big boys. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like, not. I'm just like so glad that with this Penguin, she was terrifying in her own aspect. Like, if I was in a room with that Penguin, I feel like I would be scared for my life, mostly because literally that one scene where the younger brother got framed.
Oh, that's yeah. Like, and that was a quick death, like no mercy.
Like, literally, it's just like has that motherly vibe, and then like quickly turns it off, and is like, yeah, just stuff him in the trunk and drop him in the ocean.
Make him sleep with the fishies.
Yeah.
You know what? See, I think I know the perfect way to describe her.
Mm-hmm.
Oswalda is mother for Futurama. Is mom for Futurama. That's who she is. Like she has that performance when she's doing her cabaret song and dance, where she's like the where she could be where she could be playfully flirtatious and kind of that older woman vibe. I guess the best way to describe it. But once she's out of the spotlight and in private, oh no, she's as cold as ice. She's as cold as an ice cube. As cold as an igloo.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I really liked the direction for this Penguin. It was and it wasn't like the fun thing for me, it wasn't shoehorned in the way where it's like, yeah, that's right, I'm a woman. No, she's just like, I'm gonna get this done.
And also the fact that like because they they did make her a woman, but they give her unique things that a woman could do that the regular Penguin can't do, like with running a cabaret and with being a mother. Those are aspects that the regular Penguin he won't be able to do. So that's also why it works because she's still unique in her own right because they give her things that they give her unique traits and what I'm looking for, unique traits and story ideas that can only work if she was a woman. It wouldn't work if this was the regular penguin. But also, I also got a hand. I love the fact that her big like artillery cannon that she had on her iceberg lounge cruise ship was literally a giant umbrella, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I was like, that's what I want in my Batman media. I want these.
That's what I want. These comically large, run-of-the-mill day items that are actually deadly weapons.
I love the fact that the umbrella, that the cannon was looked like an umbrella, and and also they didn't call to it, like it didn't bring itself attention. You know, it was there for you to notice, which says to me, you know what? They're not trying so hard to be this like they are. It is a somewhat grounded take on Batman, but like we're still gonna do kooky comic stuff, which I'm hoping
Yeah.
they do. Do they do more of later in the season? Just more kooky comic stuff.
Yeah, I would say so because there is. I'll just say like there's one character very late into the show. Funny thing is that he references a lot of the onomatopoeias for comics.
I think you
So
already
when
know
he's
who it
fighting-
is.
So when he was fighting the Batman, you just hear biff, woof, boom,
Bang.
and I'm like, this man is like, I can't take this fight seriously, but I am also loving the fight.
You know, I hope there if there's most likely because I think our word of mouth isn't pretty good. I hope when that season 2 comes out, I hope there's an episode where because this is also happened in the comics in like in one of the if I don't think it was the first issue with Hugo Strange. Yeah, with wait
Mm-hmm.
Hugo Strange, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because
Yeah.
I was about to say Doctor Strange. I was like, wait a minute.
No, wait a minute here.
With Hugo Strange, it is one of the earlier issues where I remember where Hugo Strange somehow he got he captured Batman and put him basically in a dream machine, and that whole issue was just one psychedelic experience for Batman. So I would love to see them do that. Just go out and have a very psychedelic episode in the near future. That would be very nice. Oh, and also, unless he's in this season, I want to see Dr. Death, like one of the earliest Batman villains, which I hope they do more. I know they gotta do the classic villains. You got the Penguin, the Riddler. I'm sure Joker's gonna show up sometime, but we're in this we're in this unique 30 setting, and now I would like to see Golden Age Batman villains, and I just want Dr. Death because mostly because I love the name Dr. Death. It's beautiful. It's art.
I could
art.
say this just so wait, what? Season 2? What? Nani already? Episode 2.1? Huh. Okay. Well, anyways, I was gonna say, ahead of time. And this is gonna be spoilers for everyone else, but would you like me to talk a little bit about the Joker?
Not really, no.
Literally, there's not much.
No, because at this point in my time reading Batman books, I literally do not care about the Joker at this point, and I like I'm indifferent unless something like truly unique, greatly written, and dramatic was done. If I could, I'll probably skip that episode because I am just sick and tired of the Joker.
All right, so I will say this to you then, because this is actually a good news for you. Throughout these first 10 episodes for season 1, there is no Joker.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Which you know I you know what? It makes sense since he's not being brought up in conversation, which means he's not in the show yet. They'll
Yeah,
put,
there is a teaser, but
yeah, he's an inevitable. He is inevitable, and when he shows up, unless it's like a damn good episode, I'm just gonna skip it because I do not care.
the way I do find interesting with this Joker, at least from the teaser, is uh he's
When does Slam Bradley get into the real mascot of Detective Comics?
you know that one movie with the not the Killing Joke, the one with Red Hood, the one animated movie with Red Hood.
So Red Hood under the Red Hood.
So it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be that type of iteration of Joker.
Wait, hold on. Wait, is Plastic Man? Wait, is Plastic Man like him or who he was before the accident? You can spoil me on this because if Plastic Man's in the show, I would love to know.
Before the accident.
Makes sense. All right, you know what? I'm excited. I would love to. I'll love to see the episode when I get there. Love me some Plastic Man. Rubber band.
But yeah,
man.
like generally from these two episodes that that Hack saw, they're pretty interesting. I like the vibes of it all. I love the costume.
Hold on. Yeah, I just saw the
Mhm.
second episode. He wasn't in it unless it was like a cameo. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I was about to say, it's like, don't you? I was about to say, if he's in the third episode, I'll watch it and confirm. But if he was in the second, then that's like the most. Then it's like either that was like the most quiet cameo that done, or they somehow made Plastic Man into Clayface, which I did appreciate for
Yeah.
episode 2. I love how very kind of old school that episode played out was. Even though there was nothing really unique about that episode, I still enjoy it regardless. And also,
Yeah,
it was
a pretty fun and interesting episode.
yes. And also, it's been a while since I saw what's that trap? What's that trap called with the swinging blade as it slowly comes down?
Yeah, the swinging guillotine thing.
Is it called? I don't think it's not called the guillotine.
No, there's a name for it, but
help me, you literature nerds. I know Edgar Allan Poe made a poem about it. What is that called? That blade, the pendulum swing. Is that what it's called?
pendulum swing. I think maybe you're right. It could be pendulum swing.
Let's see, no. Well, it is a type of pendulum swing, but that's not what it's called. Blasted. What is it called? What is that torture device called? Please help me, artists and freaks alike. What is that device called when you torture someone with a bladed pendulum? Oh well, I'm sure we'll get our answers soon enough. But I do appreciate that they had a scene where that was happening with the damsel in distress, and I'm like, huh. It's been a while. The swing blade. Thank you, Ghetto. The swing blade. And yeah, the poem is called the pendulum. So, well, we get the point. But we got the name, the swing blade. I do. As I was saying, I do appreciate that in that episode that there was like a damsel in distress with the pendulum swinging with that actress character, and I'm like, damn, when was the last time I saw a damsel in distress in a major show like this?
True.
And a pretty one too. I do I do like if I get my respect glasses on. I do like Basil Karloff, Clayman, you perv. He put her in like that what was that? What would you call that? A nighttime. What was that? It wasn't a dress. What would you call that?
Uh,
And any ladies in person in the audience, what is that piece of outfit that a woman would wear going to bed? That kind of like hugs their curves, hugs their curves a bit. It usually has like a silky texture to them.
for some reason, some people call it a sundress, even though that is not the correct way to say a sundress. But
Yeah.
nowadays, it seems like that's what they're calling it these days.
Hold on, Johnny says, "Actually, this stretch damsels better be pretty." Oh, duh. Well, duh. What you wanna read about an ugly damsel in distress? I mean, you could. You're not gonna enjoy it. Evening gown. Thank you, Ghetto. Miss Saren, how could you think putting your head in the mud? Lingerie. Think of an evening gown. And I thought Ghetto was a pervy one. Miss Saren, you've been reading too many Harlequin novels. Read a real book. Sorry, so you said to bed. Don't you wear an evening gown to bed? Or is that just in the movies? Anyway. Oh, Charlie says Antique Lane so long you forgot what the clothes are called. You know what? Hold on, Jay. That's actually a pretty good burn. I'll give you that one. There you go.
Damn.
Now, lastly, that's a pretty good. It's a pretty good burn. Yeah, it's I'm kind of hyping it more than it really is because it's pretty stock and standard. But I guess it really has just been a while since I've seen that type of situation happen in any fiction in like the past 10 years. So in a way, it was refreshing to see something that was done that's considered like an old cliche. Which so far with these first 2 episodes, that's what I'm kind of really liking. How they are doing what you could consider old cliche stuff, but it's proof that they may be old, but if you're sincere, you do at least a little bit of a twist to these old cliches, they can still be refreshing and entertaining to watch, no matter how old these story tropes are. Now I would say, Jack, you mentioned about how you're liking this voice for Batman with Mr. I think Linklater. I think that's the actor's name. Yeah, Linklater. And I'm of a similar opinion. I think he does a really good Batman. Hopefully, if this show continues on, he can make his voice stand out and not try to imitate so much of Kevin Conroy's. But that being said, he really needs to somehow work on his Bruce voice, or the voice director needs to give him better direction of how to be Bruce Wayne, because I do not like Bruce Wayne's voice.
I will say this. Half of me feels like it's on purpose. Because
that's not really not a good excuse for not excuse, but I don't think that's I don't think that it's a good reason to like. I'm not saying you have to do two completely different voices, but at least if you're gonna put up the facade of Bruce Wayne, at least be convincing about it.
Well, like that is again for this whole series, that is I would say not a key point, but that is a point to why I think it's half of me says it's on purpose. Because keep in mind, this is Batman somewhat early in his career, because I think in the first episode they were literally all talking about like, oh yeah, the Batman's just a myth, it's not real, he's not real.
I wanted to mention, I'm also kind of getting tired of early Batman. I really am. Because like in terms of media, we've had this show, which is early Batman in the 30s. 2 years ago, we had a whole movie about early Batman with the Batman with Robert Pattinson. We had a whole TV show about literally the earliest of Batman stuff you can with Gotham. That lasted what?
Oh, that's true.
What, 5, 7 seasons? How many seasons? A good number.
A good number of them.
You also had Batman Begins, which is back in 2005, and so within the past almost 20 years, we had a good amount of Batman in the past, and this is excluding comic books. If we added comic books, the number will be much bigger. And in that time, as far as Batman related media, we've only had the Batman vs Superman movie, where we had a late in career Batman, the only one. We have several Batman shows before this one that was kind of midpoint with, I think it was Beware the Batman, so that CGI show that didn't last too long, and Batman Brave with the Bold. There's also like mid-career Batman. And anything I'm trying to think, anything else I'm overlooking? Yeah, that's about it. I forget what was Batman's status as in the Batwoman show. If anyone remembers that, she remembers CW Batwoman.
I'd rather not.
I think he's dead or something. Oh, he was still early in Beware. Oh, never mind. Then that's another early career Batman. Point is, I want to say, yeah. Can we have like at least like 3, at least more than 2 years of Batman? Do people really not want Robin? Is that so? Is that why? Do all these Hollywood writers do not want to mess with Robin? Is that what it is? They're too cowards for Robin. It's infuriating.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It's infuriating. Like, at least for me, as a reader and enjoyer of Batman stuff, is because number one, unless someone comes out with something really spectacular, you're never gonna be better than Year One, the original Frank Miller Frank Miller series. You're never gonna be better than that. And number two, we always hyper focus so much on what was really like, even in the old comics in the 30s, which this show is set upon. Batman was only by himself in real time for about a year until Robin came, and from there Robin became an essential part of Batman and actually made Batman stand out. So Robin is just as important to Batman's identity as himself. I think it's really only in the 80s, which was 30 years ago now, more than 30 years ago, that other writers wanted to bring back, okay, let's have Batman by himself. But guess what? That was new 30 years ago? Not in the 80s anymore. We're in the 40 years ago. We're in the 2020s. Maybe it's time to actually let's put a Robin in there. Let's have Batman where he was for the majority of his existence.
Who knows? It might be soon.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, if I'm thinking from a writer's perspective, either they don't want to deal with all of the, ironically saying, they don't want to deal with all the comic book stuff in a comic book show about a comic book character. They rather just do more, hey, let's make Batman more miserable, like 2 years into his career. Johnny says, how can they brag about their version being more realistic and dark than the previous if they put Robin in it? True, right? True. If they put in Robin, all respect and credibility is lost. It's a cringe show. Don't you realize, Jack, Robin is cringe? So if you put Robin in the show, it makes it cringe by default. That's how it works.
Exactly.
I don't make the rules. So all Robins are cringe. If your name is Robin in the chat, you're automatically cringe. Anyone?
You're even more cringe if your name is Richard or Dick.
You're even more cringe if your last name is Grayson.
You're even more cringe if your name is Jason.
You're mega cringe if your name is Tim.
You're even very more cringe if it was Carrie.
But you'll be super based if your name was Stephanie. All right, we'll move on. All right, now Jack, go ahead as now since you saw the whole series, go ahead and give your whole thoughts on the whole show on the show as a whole. What do you think were some good moments? What do you think the show needs to improve upon if you want to watch a second season? And what are some things that you found yourself were very critical of the show?
I enjoyed the show a lot. Like I really like this is the it's been so long since I've ever seen a DC animated show actually do good compared to recent times where they try to do the Harley Quinn show and it was just like so stupid.
And all those newer movies where they took old comic book stories and tried to find some way to make them all connect.
Yeah. I enjoy the fact of how much this goes back to somewhat of the roots of the animated series that I loved.
You can thank Bruce Timm for that.
Mm-hmm. And the only thing I do worry is I worry for the like if any characters would return.
As in like villains or
As either as villains or other things. I can't say too much since you haven't watched everything.
I see.
But I just feel like they're kind of quickly dropping some things or some potential for like not reruns.
Reruns? What are those? I don't watch
reuses
TV.
of villains. Reuses of villains.
Okay, I see. Well,
But yeah, like that. Although I do like well, actually, no. They should have made the explanation for some of the things that this Batman does or how he acts a little bit more clear to the audience instead of taking it till like episode 3 or 4 to check on his like how you said, like how his Bruce Wayne isn't really that great because you don't really fully notice that unless if you go all the way to 2 or no, not 2, 3, 4, or 5. That's when they start not explaining, but kind of showing that maybe some things.
I would say for like the first 2 episodes, Batman's not really a character.
Pretty much.
Like it's because it's all focused on the villains of that episodes and a lot of the supporting characters. You know, they take up most of the runtime and the dialogue, while Batman is either literally or figuratively in the background and only only appears or does something in the final act.
And you will kind of see more of that throughout the show, but I feel like this is building up for a season 2.
I would say that's not a critique. That's kind of normal. That's how Batman comics were used to be made. Heck, if you guys, like, I guarantee, if you guys watch old episodes of the animated series, they were structured the same way most of the time. Sometimes Batman won't really be in an episode until, aside from the beginning and the end. Maybe you might see him here and there in the middle, but most of the time you're going to follow the villains or the supporting characters, and Batman will be there to either save the day or to fulfill something in the plot.
And I do like the fact that this Batman is pretty much, you know, for sure that he is not perfect. Because as much as I love a Batman that can single-handedly complete everything without there being any issues,
The
this
Arkham
one kind of,
Batman.
yep, this one can really show you that this man makes mistakes, and at first, maybe some people will not see the mistake until it, like, he tells you. Like, so for example, episode 1, yeah, he beat the Penguin, but at the same time, he lost because he was trying to avoid the destruction of the Gotham PD, but it didn't work because he wasn't really aware of where he was at, and it took him by surprise. And also, even though he locked up the Penguin, he even said in the show that him doing so made a power vacuum, which is just gonna make things worse.
Yeah, which I'm sure that will become relevant in future episodes. So they're planting the seeds for the overarching story of the season.
And like, this is the fun thing about it, because I don't really see too many shows. Like, yeah, like as you said, you might get tired of early year Batman, but at the same time, I've never really seen, at least recently, so much talk about the old big villains, Catherick Thorne, and like the mafia gangs. Like, I know in the Batman Arkham games, they're like, oh yeah, we talked about this happened, this happened. But ever since Batman did this, the old gang or mafia crime bosses have disbanded. I kind of want to see those a little bit more. So this is a nice step in that direction.
That is one benefit of doing early Batman is that um there's not so much a focus to do the big villains yet, and no matter how it's done, I will always get a kick when Batman deals with just your regular like mafiosos, because there's so much catharsis in him dealing with that. Uh, Hopefully, it's just as cathartic as when he dealt with them in year one or in Batman Begins, where I still retain that for Batman Begins, that still is one of my favorite act ones of a Batman film, of him just not only were they just Christopher Nolan just and the and his editor do the just great thing of somehow doing the origin story, doing the uh doing the training sequence, and doing the part where Batman stopping the mob, all within like the first act. And that was like, that's some exquisite writing. That's like hard to pull off, doing like three different plots all at once. So I hope I get that type of catharsis. I think the only time I never seen that done well, it's funny enough, is in the You remember the Batman Telltale games?
Oh yeah,
Which is
yeah.
which is another early career Batman story. Oh my god! But I get it. I get it. Uh, that part of his life is has so much potential, like in terms of doing crime dramas, and that's and also it's a good way to start the setup. So doing your own versions of the villains, so that you can do weird stuff, like how in the Telltale game, Bruce Wayne met the Joker before he became the Joker at Arkham Asylum,
Oh yeah.
which was kind of weird, but I wasn't too bothered by it. Uh, I would say that it is gonna be with this and with the Batman and what would have been the Batgirl movie. It's go- it's gonna be. I'm gonna just have to get used to the fact that Commissioner Gordon and Barbara, they are just gonna be black from here on. Then that's it.
Not just that, like the fact that I don't see too many but the fact that Barbara is working
Oh, it's like
is
she's.
a working adult. Is a working adult
Oh, that's yeah.
and not part of the family, the bad family.
Which means they probably may not do the Batgirl stuff, not unless they rather if well, that's assuming they want to do Bat Family stuff. That's assuming
Mm-hmm.
because they have like one more Batgirl they can use if they want the Asian representation.
Let's go. Let's go.
Go Cassandra. Yeah,
More representation.
you know what I always like Cassandra's Batgirl more than Barbara, so I won't complain.
Also, you
Yes.
know, they check two boxes.
Oh.
They check the box to keep a ginger person in the show,
Oh yes.
and that she's black.
Oh yes, those common black gingers that you always see.
But it's just funny because like there's always this whole thing where people saying, "Oh no, all gingers are turning black," and like they don't keep anything that makes them ginger.
And
And
then
then Barbara Gordon shows up.
yep, all them black. Also, I do love the fact. You know what's funny? I love the fact that
Mhm.
Commissioner Gordon he has the white hair, so that way it wouldn't look so weird of it giving him the ginger. Oh man, I'm sure black gingers exist, but god dang, it's sometimes I look at Barbara and I'm like, only in animation will this work. but and like I said, it's just gonna be how it is from now. You know, remember watching watching like a video from my that I watched for comic book stuff, and the person was saying like, hey, once you race swap a character, you can't race swap them back. They're that way forever. So, and I think so until they do it in the comics, they're gonna do their own thing. They always will. But from now on, you know, whatever race swaps that happens from here on, then that's how the character is gonna be presented, no matter what. So, yeah, and I think for the people who really do get annoyed by that, I understand. But at a certain point, you kind of have to let it go and just accept it for what it is. And sometimes, mostly with Commissioner Gordon and Barbara, it honestly doesn't change anything. It's just more so we're so used to how they were originally are, so that we're so used to how they are originally are that seeing them any different just kind of like it's different.
And like that's the thing about it. Like I'm actually enjoying the fact that they don't rub it in your face. They're like, "Oh yes, I'm black. I'm black. I'm black." All that stuff because like you don't have like one character go on a tirade over this and that
Yeah.
because of ACAB this and
that would
BLM that.
that would be kind of weird for the only two black characters in the show to say that when they're both working the police department.
Just look at the mirror. You're a bastard.
That being said, I will say this is a pretty much like with the Batman movie. This is still a pretty kind of dull Commissioner Gordon. At least from the first two episodes, if he feels, I don't know, there's just something about like one part of the fun of early Batman is to see early Gordon and how that relationship works. And do Batman and Gordon? You can spoil me if this happens. Do Batman and Gordon ever meet in the season?
Yes, they do, like several times.
Okay, then. So that's good. That's good to hear.
The funny thing is that the first time they meet, it's literally inside the police station.
That's funny. But do they have? I would say, do they have at least good chemistry?
Really right now it hasn't even like they're barely getting chemistry, but I guess towards the end they end up like being on decent terms where it's not like freeze I know you helped us out, but freeze! I'm
Uh,
gonna arrest you right now.
okay, I see. I see. I see.
It's just like they hear sirens, and then he's like,
Maybe they should
"You
have.
better leave if you don't want me to arrest you."
Oh, you know what? I bet you they made Gordon commissioner mostly just to be different, but so that they didn't do the stuff that Year One and Batman Begins already did with having Batman establish that relationship with Gordon. But even then, that was always the best parts of those stories. Seeing how the young Commissioner Gordon and the young Batman, uh, they're hostile at first, but they learn to trust each other and work together, so that they had that established friendship and trust that that they'll eventually meet. So hopefully they do have that for this show. And you know what? You know what else? Because Barbara's now a full adult, I bet you they're gonna do a thing with Barbara and Bruce, and it can't be weird anymore because Barbara's an adult now, like a full adult.
And she's not part of the Bat family at all.
You hear that?
Yep.
Bruce Timm found a way to put his favorite ship into the show.
When you have the will, you find a way.
Ghetto says didn't want Gordon cheating on his wife, also named Barbara, like in Year One. I actually, you know what? I remember reading Year One, even though it was one of those things. I actually do actually. I know some fans. There's a vocal fans that don't like that Gordon did that in that story. I personally liked it because number one, it showed that Gordon is flawed, and but as well the situation of what led to that. It wasn't like he was an habitual cheater. Like after that one tie, he felt pretty guilty, and in near the end of the story, it showed that he was willing to work things with his wife to make sure that never happens again, and so forth. So I'm not saying this version of Gordon has to cheat, but I am saying I would like to see I like to see something to his character other than that he's a good honest police chief.
I need to see this man become unfaithful.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying give him some flaws or something. I don't know.
My favorite thing.
It's this. It's my one of the favorite things one of the favorite phrases I've heard about, especially about boring black characters that are always good and do the right thing no matter what. They're called Gordon Good Brothers. That is all they do. They're just they do the good thing, and because of that, they make for pretty dull characters. They're a Gordon Good brother. Ghetto says I did hate that. I hated she was named Barbara. Talked about being confused reading that as a kid. Agnes Batman.
Oh no.
Oh no! Trust me,
Batman, NTR, Gordon.
Selena cucks Batman so often. I don't know why he keeps trying. Anyways, but yeah, I'm glad you liked the show, Jack. And I probably will like the show too. I'll take my time with it, and I'll eventually, maybe not on an episode, but maybe on social media or one of my own streams, I will divulge my full thoughts on the full season. But and also one thing I want to add that's kind of fun, kind of weird. Why does that show have 4 executive producers? Good lord. 4 executive.
That is a very good question.
4 executive producers for a show that's like 10 for a season that's 10 episodes long. You have Bruce Timm, okay, I get it. J.J. Abrams, what? Why is he involved? You got Matt Reeves, okay, I kind of get it. He helped make that Batman movie, okay. And then you get, this is a weird one. Then you get what's his name? Help me, Ghetto. He's a Captain America writer. Ed Brubaker. You didn't get Ed Brubaker, who's he's a pretty good comic writer. It was just random to see his name there as an executive producer. And then you get some guy named it's five executive producers. There is the four I mentioned, and the fifth one. What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name? The fifth one. Oh, come on. Here it goes. And the fifth guy name James Tucker, whoever he is. But like, god dang it.
Let's see. There's J.J. Abrams, John some. I can't say that last name. I don't know how.
I'm just going by like what they show in the credits. IMDb has like a full list of more producers. I'm just going by executive producers.
Matt Reeves, Sam Register, Jace Ritchie.
I'm just saying this show has more producers and animators.
Rachel Rich, and then Rachel. Oh, well, this is the same person twice. Just one has Rich at the end, the other one's Roosh. Rachel Roosh Rich and Rachel Roosh. Bruce Timm.
I do hope that what's his name, Paul Dini, which people attribute a lot of success to Batman the Animated Series to Bruce Timm, and Bruce Timm was successful to that, but the actual writing, that was Paul Dini. I do hope we get an episode written by Paul Dini, because he always knocks out of the park when he writes Batman. Heck, I think I remember he wrote the plots for Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, and he was opposed to do Arkham Knight, and for some reason Rocksteady rejected his pitch. And they're like, no, we'll do our own thing. And that's why the story is the way it is.
Oh, I was talking to a friend where he was talking about how he tried playing the new game.
Right.
And even him, he was not enjoying it. And I'm like, I'm glad you got it for free, because this was the time whenever Amazon Prime was just giving away the Suicide Squad game for free. And I'm like, I have the game too now. It's free, so I might as well have it. But I'm now going to be laughing at those fools that pre-ordered the game for $100+. Then 3 months later, it was just free.
And unlike Nintendo, they ain't gonna reimburse you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this is why it doesn't pay to be a Suicide Squad fan.
All I know is that I want this show to succeed so much.
Oh wait, hold on. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I need to correct something. So Paul Dini does. Oh wait. So Paul Dini does have a writing credit on the show. Looks like he does the Harley Quinn episodes.
Yes. No wonder why it just felt so awesome.
Yeah, because he created the damn character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I did see, like, in the credits, there is a lot of comic veterans on this show. You got Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli, although I suspect those are just like they use characters that they made. I doubt they actually wrote anything in that show. Let's see. We got Steve Englehart. He is a longtime Batman creator. He's the one that created Rupert Thorne. We got Ed Brubaker, Paul Dini, Len Wayne. Who else I recognize? Greg Rucka. He's the one that made the second he's the one that wrote the second episode. He's hit or miss. His writing tends to he's hit or miss, and for some reason he can't help but be very feministy when he writes a story with the female lead. Weird. Jerry Conway, although I think that's just another like just a credit because he created Killer Croc. Danny Mills definitely did not write an episode. He's dead. And okay, so never mind. So a lot of these are just credits for characters that were created. They didn't actually. I can't see if any of them actually wrote in the show, so I have to actually see what comic book talents actually wrote the episodes. The only one I can say for sure is Greg Rucka. But anyways, that's.
I just want to say very quickly, I enjoy this Harley Quinn.
I saw that she actually looks like a Harley Quinn for once.
Yep, like I back to the roots with the freaking costume design, but also different enough to be like very, very good.
Awesome. All right, and
It's like horny.
is it safe horny?
It's safe horny. It's just like
Boom.
the voice she puts off. Voice she puts off, and like the way she kind of like talks to Batman.
I'm sorry. I just can't believe that's a phrase that's said on X. Safe horny. That's so stupid.
I thought you were just making that up right now. I didn't know it was a thing on X.
No, it's like it's supposed to describe like it's supposed to describe something that okay, it's appropriate that you feel aroused by this character or whatever.
Huh.
Which it's so stupid. It's not really a real thing, but it's just a phrase I've been seeing very recently, and it's just usually it's involved when discussions of muscular women are in the discussion of how if a muscular woman is safe horny, but a traditionally attractive woman, oh no, you're just being a creep.
What? No. There's a difference between the Amazonian dommy mommy types and
yeah, you're allowed to be attracted to them, but don't be attracted to your regular woman. That just means that you hate women.
Yeah, don't be attracted to the femme fatales. Yeah, Ada, no, you can't go with Ada.
Nope.
Catwoman, nah, definitely not.
No. Oh, and also safe horny also applies to every male character. You can be safe horny for men if you float that way. So Miss Saren, you're good to go. Ghetto, you're kind of good to go. Johnny, unfortunately, you're gonna have to go underground with your dirty comics.
Yep, damn.
Gotta go to the underground.
We're sending you to Brazil. Oh wait, he's already there.
He's gotta draw his BBLs in secret. You know what? I'll draw standard woman neck even harder. Oh, by the way, I do love the current thing you're drawing. Like I do love you gave her a big derriere to distract from the fact that she's like a vampire or some sort of undead creature. Yellow says I can keep lusting after Orochimaru in peace. I mean, if you want to go for mediocrity, go ahead.
It's the tongue, isn't it?
It's. I think from what Ghetto was telling me, it's a thing. It's most of the fact that he feels he could dominate Orochimaru. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ghetto. But it's more. So I think that's what it is. I don't know. I didn't divulge because it's still a weird pick. Why him of all characters? And that's and Ghetto, unless it's a correct record, does not give you permission to divulge in the chat your yaoi thoughts about Orochimaru. Just correct the record. That's all you gotta do.
Starts deleting paragraph.
Oh man. Alright. And with that, we get a good stopping point, and we can go ahead and go straight into the announcements. So, all that said, Jack, you have anything to announce until the next episode of the HAC Show?
So actually, would it be better to say it now? That way we don't forget next week.
Say what?
The changes in time.
Yeah. So.
So.
Hi.
I can't believe that's a thing. Like so. So, okay, that was not planned. But so, as y'all know, I am still in the Kool-Aid. I'm still in college. College is starting back up in 2 weeks. So basically the 19th? Yeah. And what is happening in that chat?
Get us being horny on Maine. Calm down, boy. Calm
He's
down.
being horny on Maine. Chat, flip his balls. But anyways, since I'll be going back to college, we're gonna be doing some rearranging on the time frames when we'll do the HAC Show, and this most likely means I will maybe I'll stop streaming once. Like I'll have one less stream out of the week. But yeah, Mondays we cannot do any more Mondays on the 19th, mostly because I literally had the only available times on Mondays, and this as soon as I get up, I go to class, and the day is over by the time I leave.
He has to go to his escuela.
So, I think we agreed it was going to be on Tuesday, correct?
That is correct. So, again, God, we're like a Fox TV show. We're just changing our schedules like every year. Every 6 months we gotta change the schedule. Oh man, but yeah. So in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks the show will be the show will be going live on Tuesday nights instead of Monday nights. So just to work around Jackson's schedule with school and work. So we're telling you now so you can prepare for it, and then we'll remind you again next week, because that will be the last Monday show. And Jack, at this point, after 5 years, we literally like switched between Wednesday, not Monday, not Tuesday, not Wednesday, not Monday, not Tuesday. Oh man, oh man. So that's just how it is, just to keep the show going, and work with what we got. And the chat stop talking about Orochimaru. Good lord. Can we drop it from the conversation? See what you did, Ghetto? See what you did?
Damn.
But yeah, so starting on August 20th, the show will be from Tuesday, and of course we'll remind you again next week. All right, anything else you wish to announce, Jack?
Yeah, I will be doing my regular yes, you I will be doing my regular streams tomorrow and Wednesday. I will tone down the Final Fantasy stuff for this week, mostly so no one just gets burnt out of me playing Final Fantasy every single time I stream. So tomorrow, Stardew. Next day, I think I'll be playing Wild Assault, which is another very horny game.
Of course. Ghetto will be there, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you guys like furries.
Wait, is it a safe horny game?
Is it a safe horny? Yes. Oh, actually no, because they're furries. So that and you know how the toxic cesspool of Twitter is. If you deal with anything that is furry related, you're automatically into animals.
As long as not a Smash Brothers dating sim, we're good. All right.
But yeah, it's a funny game.
It's the horny game. Oh man. All right. As for my announcements, I do want to apologize for my next Ultimate Spider review being late. it is in the process of editing, so I am not very far behind. I just gotta take up I just gotta make time to finish the editing process and release as soon as possible, because before I know it, it will be September already, and then I don't want to be behind for reviewing issues 7 through 9. So do expect that very soon as well. Recording process is still going on for Saint Seiya, so nothing new to report about there. And also, I do apologize for the lack of re-uploading the episodes. The Spider-Man project's the Spider-Man project. Calm down in the chat. Good lord. Mostly you, Johnny. The Spider-Man project's kind of is putting a pause on me re-uploading those episodes. But soon as the Ultimate Spider-Man review is done, I can go back to doing that. Again, will I be reviewing the Ultimates? That would depends on issues 2 and 3. If I feel that if it's worth making a video on. I have already read issue 1. I enjoyed it, and I am looking forward to see what it is. But at this point, I'm not. I can't. I can't. At this point, it's too early to say of how I feel about it. And lastly, certainly not least, next Friday is official day. So next Friday, there's going. I will be doing a recording, not a live stream, but a recording of the first comic. What now? I finally found the name for it. Comic roundtable video. Is the idea of me and 3 other guests coming together to share and discuss the comics we have for that particular month. Originally, it was going to be a live stream, but because YouTube very much discourages live stream, it's going to be recorded, and then I'm going to edit that footage and make it all nice and proper to make it a video for you guys to enjoy at your leisure. So we already have the guests lined up. I'm very excited for it, and that's something to look forward to near the end of the month. As for more of our video content here on the HAC Show. Let's see. Johnny says, "Will Kevin be there to the coffee scam yet?" Oh, don't. I don't want to even know what he's dealing with in Venezuela. I can say for now, Kevin won't be in this inaugural episode, but I'm hoping I can reach out to him and see if he can do it. Unfortunately, Kevin's very sporadic due to his just busy schedule doing other things that in his life. I am working on something on a long-term project with him that's been taking a while for me to do, but right now there is no rush to really complete it, but it's something I want to do. I want to get ready for and do before the year ends. Something that, and it's a type of show that we've done together in the past. So that's all I can really divulge in that one. All right. So with all those announcements out of the way, we thank everyone for joining us for episode 189 of the HAC Show. And Jack, so once this episode completes, you know what that means? We are 10 episodes away from reaching another milestone. We have 5 years doing this show, and very soon we're going to reach our 200th episode. 200.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, and technically we've already done more than 200, but with the way I like to have our episodes numbered, it's going to be official 200th episode. So that's another milestone to look forward to in the very near future. And with that, thank you all for watching. This is Hack and Jack, signing out.